investment to Kenya, knowing very well that back at home, he has put in place a machinery for vicious attack on local investments.
Several protesters were arrested during yesterday's demonstrations, while some were left nursing serious injuries. Azimio says police must be responsible in enforcing law.
Despite Azimio supporters bending over to ensure that the protests are conducted strictly within the law, the state, under the direction of Ruto and Gachagua, did everything to ensure the protests degenerate into chaos and lead to death.
Mr. Odinga has additionally condemned attacks on private property, as witnessed at former President Uhuru Kenyatta's Kamaki's farm and at his gas company in Nairobi.
Yesterday, the state unleashed goons on farms way off Nairobi and businesses way off the CBD. In that invasion, trees were uprooted and burned, and animals carted away and slaughtered under the supervision of the state. Business premises were stoned and broken into, and properties scattered away. Worse still, lives were lost. People were hacked to death with crude weapons, while others got shot with guns.
With worrying images from Kibera, where PCEA church was razed by unknown goons and a mosque vandalized, Odinga says government sponsored the attacks.
As we warned during the campaigns, Ruto has brought the class war here. He's keen to have a religious war here. This is how it starts. Once it starts, there's no end until citizens turn on one another.
Raila is now calling on the international community to come to the aid of the country.
We see a plot that will be extremely disastrous for the country's long-term stability and economy. We see the little hope for Kenya's large-scale farming. We are tearing the heart out of our commercial agriculture. We see little hope for new investments in our economy or expansion of existing ones. We are looking at the beginning of the end of the economy of this country.
The former premier has, however, cautioned if the culture of intolerance continues unabated, then the country is looking at an uncertain future.
In this latest act of desperation by Mr. Ruto and Gachagua, we see a plot that will be extremely disastrous for the country's long-term stability and economy.
Odinga is adamant nothing will stop opposition's protests until their demands are met.
Ruto must make no mistake. This struggle will march on, stronger and mightier, with his every vile response until our demands are met.
Henry Tende, Look Up TV.
Thank you, Tende, for that detailed story. And our